warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello everyone. Today I'm going to explain the history about Old English to Modern English. My name is Putri Zahra and this is my explanation. Old English, also known as Anglo-Saxon, was the earliest record of the English language. It was spoken and written in England from approximately 452 and 1100 AD after Germanic tribes, the Anglo-Saxons, and the Jutes settled in Britain following the decline of Roman rule. Old English was not simply an older version of modern English, it was a distinct language with its vocabulary, grammar, pronunciation, and writing system. Modern English speakers usually cannot understand Old English without special study. For example, the opening line of the epic poem Beowulf is "What we Gardena is Gardegum," which is difficult for modern readers to recognize as an English. There are some key points too. Number 1, it was spoken between 450 and 1100 AD. It originated from Germanic languages. It was heavily influenced by contact with the Vikings, and it used a complex grammatical system with many inflections. In Old English, pronunciation was generally closer to its spelling than modern English. Old English used special letters such as P tone, pronounced like th, F also pronounced like th, and H a vowel sound between a, and e. For example, Old English is knith and modern English is night. In Old English, most letters were pronounced, while in modern English some letters become silent. Old English sentence structure was more flexible than modern English because nouns and adjectives had grammatical endings. Speakers could change word order without changing the meaning. For example, "Se Schneeing von man Gese," meaning the king saw the man. In modern English, word order is much stricter and usually follow the subject, verb, object pattern. Old English to Middle English is the stage of the English language that developed after Old English and was spoken in England from approximately 1100 to 1500 AD. It emerged as a result of major historical, social, and linguistic changes, especially the Norman Conquest. As the Norman Conquest, French became the language of the ruling class, government, law, and education, while English remained the language of ordinary people. Over time, English absorbed thousands of French and Latin words and gradually evolved into Middle English. Middle English acts as a bridge between Old English and Modern English. It was simpler than Old English but not yet as standardized as Modern English. By the end of the Middle English period, English had become the dominant language of England once again. There has a key points too. It's spoken from approximately 1100 and 1500 AD, developed from Old English after the Norman Conquest. Strong influence from French and Latin vocabulary. Grammar became simpler as many inflections disappeared. Word order became more fixed and regional dialects flourished. The sound and spelling of Middle English were different from both Old English and Modern English. During this period, English spelling began to change under the influence of French writing convention introduced after the Norman Conquest. For example, the Old English word has gradually become whose in the Middle English and later developed into the Modern English word house. Similarly, the Old English word knit changed to night in Middle English. Although the spelling became more complex, the initial K and the sound represented by G were still pronounced. The grammar and syntax compared with Old English. Most noun case ending disappeared, gender distinction were largely lost, and verb forms became simpler. Prospection became more important. And this is the vocabulary. Middle English. The sound of spelling of Middle English reflected a period of transition between Old English and Modern English. After the Norman conquest, French scribes introduced new spelling conventions, which significantly influenced by the way English words were written. As a result, many Old English spelling were modified to resemble French writing practice. For example, the Old English word "hus" became "hus" in the Middle English and eventually developed into the Modern English word house. The Old English word knit and changed to night, while skip becomes sheep before evolving into sheep. Although some words began to look more familiar to modern readers, their pronunciation was often quite different from Modern English. Its have key points. Spoken from 1100 to 15,000 AD, developed from Old English after the Norman conquest, strongly influenced by French and Latin, grammar became simpler than Old English, and many inflections disappeared.